Okay, this is a range of motion for the wrist. I'm going to start by taking the slack out of her wrist and her fingers. And then I'm going to start to rotate around one way, keeping the slack out of her fingers, and rotate the other way. So these bones are positioned the same as her arm bones here, are with the humerus here, here's her ulna, here's the ulna here, and her radius coming up here. And then her palm, thumb on this side, thumb on this side. So what I'm going to be doing is taking the slack out of her hand and moving it around. So I take the slack out of the wrist joint as well as the finger joints, and then start to move it around. And my focus will be first to take the slack out of the wrist joint, and then you see how the ulna and radius here, they start to move one against each other. And as I continue to move around this way, the radius will move around the ulna at the shoulder joint, or excuse me, at the elbow joint. Once I take all the slack out of that elbow joint, the ulna, which ends between the two condyles of the humerus, will start to rotate the humerus all the way up into the ball and socket joint. So that's the plan. Take the slack out here, rotate, rotate, rotate. And then I'll go the other way, keeping the slack out, and rotate the other way. So it looks like this. Gently take the slack out. Notice that there's no aggression here. I'm just gently taking it out and holding it out. Here's the ulna, here's the radius. I'm going to take and rotate her arm this way. And I'm holding very gently at the head of the ulna and radius. And then she gets stuck right there. There. And then in my mind's eye, I follow the radius up into the elbow there. That radius should be moving back this way. Hello, radius. And once we get to the end of the range, then the ulna, which ends between the two condyles of the humerus, will rotate that humerus. And with Kristen, I'm giving a little help with this hand because there's something stuck up there. If I go just from the elbow, it feels a little tight. So what I'm doing right now is not only good for the camera, but actually treatment for Kristen's wrist, elbow, and shoulder here. I'm taking these two bones and rotating them. Hello, wrist. I'm going to come down to the ulna and radius here and move them one against the other, just like this, moving up and down, and they move easily. No restriction there. Let's go the other direction. Take the slack out and gently move it this way. So there's the ulna rotating all the way up to then rotate the humerus like that. And to do this, you take the slack out of the wrist joint first, and then turn the lower arm bones, ulna and radius. There's the end of that, and then we turn all the way up into the shoulder joint. Come back and go back and forth with the ulna and radius. I will also often go in there and do compressions on all the finger joints. And there's the metacarpals. You can take each one of those, move it around. So we get the whole hand working. At this point, I'm targeting these joints where the phalanges come into the metacarpals, one at a time. I can also come down the joints between the phalanges. When I do this, I give a little traction, gentle traction, and then a little bit of a twist. Notice how I'm holding with my whole hand, not just my fingers, but I hug the whole finger, the whole phalanges. Even here, I'm using my whole hand, and I'm leaning back so that the motion is gentle.